Job 38. Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, who is this who darkens counsel by words without knowledge? Now gird up your loins like a man, and I ask you, and you answer me. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Declare, if you have understanding, who set these measurements, if you know, or who stretched out the line upon it, upon what were its foundations sunk, or who laid its cornerstone, when the morning stars sang together. All the sons of Elohim shouted for joy, or who enclosed the sea with doors, when it burst forth and came from the womb. When I made the clouds its garment, and thick darkness its swaddled band, and assigned for it my law and set bars and doors. Wait a minute now. Who set its measurements, if you know, or who stretched the line upon it, upon what were its foundations sunk, or who laid its cornerstone, when the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of Elohim shouted for joy, or who enclosed the sea with doors, when it burst forth and came from the womb. When I have made the clouds its garment, and thick darkness its swaddled band, and assigned for my law, and set bars and doors, and said, this far you have come, but no farther, and here your proud ways stop. This is how far you come, but no further, and here your proud ways stop. Have you ever commanded the morning and caused the dawn to know its place? To take hold of the corners of the earth, and the wrong be shaken out of it? God talking. To take a hold of the corners of the earth, and the wrong be shaken out of it. It is changed like clay under a seal, and they stand out like a garment, and their light is withheld from the wrong, and the arm lift up is broken. Have you come to the source of the sea? Or have you walked upon it? Or have you walked about in the recess of the deep? Were the gates of the death revealed to you? Or have you seen the gates of the shadow of death? Have you understood the breadth of the earth? Declare if you know it all. Where is the way of the dwelling of light? And darkness, where is its place? That you should take it to its boundary has to come. Do you know, for you would have been born then, and the number of your days been many? Have you entered into the storehouse of snow, or have you seen the storehouses of hail, which I have kept for the time of distress, for the day of frightening and battle? Where is the way that light is divided, or the east wind scatter over the earth? Who has cleft and channel for the overflowing water, or a way for the thunder claps, to make rain fall on land where no one is, a wilderness is which there is no man, to satisfy the wild and waste places, and to make seeds of grass to sprout. Does the rain have a father, or who has brought forth the drops of dew? From whose belly comes the ice, and who gives birth to the frost of the heavens? The water hardened like stone, and the surface of the deep is frozen. Do you bind the bands of Kima, or loosen the cords of Kesed? Do you bring out the constellations in its season, or do you leave the bear with its sons? Do you know the laws of the heavens, or do you set their rule over the earth? Do you lift up your voice to the clouds, so that floods of water cover you? Do you send out lightning, and they go and say to you, hey, here we are? Who has put wisdom in the inward parts? Or who has given understanding to the heart? Who has wisdom to count the clouds, or to tip over the bottles of the heavens? When the dust hardens in clumps, and the clouds clung together, do you hunt the prey for the lion, or satisfy the appetite of the young lions? When they crouch in dens, sit in the cover of their hidden place. Who provides food for their raven when its young ones cry to God and wander about without food? God is talking to Job. But anyways, y'all, welcome back to Genesis 3. I'm your host, Edward Bowman. This is episode 22, 23. I don't know, but hey, you're here with me. First and first, all praise to the Most High. Can I get an amen? Amen, amen. Look, y'all, I'm on Job 38, and I just, Job is a good book. If you haven't read about Job, you need to read about Job. Job was a perfect man in the East on earth at the time. Perfect man. He had wealth. He had riches. He had everything a man can need on this earth. He had all of it. He had multiple kids, 10 kids. He had like thousands of ox, thousands of sheep, servants, all that stuff. Quick recap, God took all that away because, the devil, talked to God about, I bet Job would do this if you take all the things that he loved away. God did, woo woo. God even put boils on that man, by whole body, woo woo. Job ends up distressed. Job ends up, talking down on God, talking, big game on God. Job got three friends. Let me tell y'all the name of the three friends real quick so y'all know what's going on real quick, because this is just a quick recap before I dig right back at it. Okay, his friends. His friends were Eliphaz the Timite, Bildad the Shushite, and Tosphar the Nemanite. Now, those were the three friends that came with him. Now, but those three friends were the ones who were talking to Job because they was all kind of the same age. But there was one with him. His name is Elihu, who was younger than him. So he was like, the younger generation, letting the old guys talk to each other because, they say, young people need to mind their business. They got to grow for business. So he let them talk and all that stuff. But then Elihu was like, look, y'all ain't even doing a job. Y'all ain't even doing a justice. Y'all not even proving Job wrong. So let me get up here and talk real quick, if I may. And boy, did the young boy start spitting. Did the young boy start talking? Did the young boy start laying down foundations in front of Job? Like, boy, I got you. But now, on verse 38, that's when God come in and was like, Job, let me answer you this, Job. Was you here when I did this? Oh, it's over. It's over. God had entered the chat. It's over. Job ain't got no rebuttal because I don't think Job gonna talk again. Shoot. Anyways, y'all, hope y'all have a blessed weekend out there. Hope all God warriors, I hope all the followers of God, stay strong out here in these times. I hope everybody, keep picking up their Bible, keep walking with God. Don't let what you're going through bring you down. It's hard sometimes, I get it, but just like Job, don't ever turn your back. Job, don't ever turn your back on God. Don't ever rebuke God. Don't ever talk, like you high and mighty. Don't ever feel like God cannot ever change those situations because He can. Never think yourself above God. Never. All right, let's pick up where we at, y'all. Let's dig right back in it. If you want to follow along. I suggest y'all follow along so I can understand. All right, we at Job 39. Let's get back at it. Do you know the time when the wild mountain goats bear young, or do you observe when the deer gives birth? Do you number the months they complete, or do you know the time when they bear young? They bow down, they bring forth their young, their labor pains are ended. Their young ones are thriving. They grow up in the field, they shall leave and shall not return to them. Who set the wild donkey free? Who loosened the bonds of the wild donkey? Whose home I have made the desert, and the salt land is his dwelling. He laughs at the commotion of the city. He does not hear the shouts of the driver. The range of the mountains is his pasture, and he searches for all that is green. Would the wild ox be pleased to serve you, or spend the night by your feeding trough? If you bind the wild ox in the fury with ropes, will he plow the valleys behind you? Will you rely on his great strength, or will you leave your labor to him? Will you trust him to bring home your grain and gather it to your threshing floor? The wings of the archers flop joyously, but it is not pinion and plumage of a stork. She leaves her eggs on the ground and warms them in the dust, and she forgets that a foot might crush them, or wild beasts tread on them. She treats her young harshly, as if not hers. Her toil is in vain without fear. Without fear. There go that key word again. Because Eloah has made her forget wisdom and did not endue her with understanding. Let me go back real quick. The wings of the archers flap joyously, but it is. Let me take that out. But it is not the pinion and plumage of a stork. She leaves her eggs on the ground and warms them in the dust, and she forgets that the foot might crush them, or wild beasts tread on them. She treats her young harshly, as if not hers. Her toil is in vain without fear, because God has made her forget wisdom and did not endue her with understanding. When she lifts herself on high, she laughs at the horse and its rider. Have you given the horse strength? Have you covered his neck with a mane? Will you make him leap like a locust? His splendid snorting is frightened. He paused in the valley and rejoiced in strength. He gallops into the clash of arms. He laughs at fear and is not frightened, nor does he turn back from the sword. The quiver rattles against him, the glittering spear and lance. He eats up the ground with fierceness and rage, and does not stand still because of the voice of the sulphur. At the blast of the sulphur he says, "Ah!" and from afar he smells the battle, the thunder of commands and shouting. Does the hawk fly by your wisdom, spreading its wings toward the south? Does an eagle mount up at your mouth and make its nest on high? It dwells on the rock, and the lodge on the crag of the rock, and the stronghold. From there it is searched out the prey. Its eyes seize it from afar, and its young ones suck up blood, and where the slain are, there it is. Yahweh answered Job and said, should a reprover contend with the Almighty? Let him who reproves Eloah answer it. And Job answered Yahweh and said, see, I am insignificant. What would I answer you? I lay my hand over my mouth. God said, should a reprover contend with the Almighty? Let him who reproves Eloah answer it. And Job answered and said, see, I am insignificant. What would I answer you? I lay my hand over my mouth. Once I have spoken, but I have no answer, and twice, but I say no more. Then Yahweh answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, gird up your loins like a man. I asked you, and you answer me. Will you also set aside my judgment? Will you pronounce me wrong, and you be declared righteous? Or do you have an arm like El? Or do you thunder with a voice like his? Deck yourself, please, with the excellency and grandeur, and put on esteem and splendor. Scatter abroad the rage of your wrath, and look on everyone who is proud and bring him low. Look on everyone who is proud, humble him, and tread down the wrongdoers in their place. Hide them in the dust together, bind their face in obscurity. Then even I will confess to you that your own right hand does save you. I say, if you do all this, then I'm going to go, oh yeah, man, your right hand saved you. If you do all these wonders, boy, I know you owe you somebody. But hey, there's only one who do it like that. There's only one who do it like that. Not me, but God. There's only one who do it like that. Let me go back. God said, once I have spoken, but I have no, or Job said, once I have spoken, but I have no answer, and twice, but I say no more. Then Yahweh answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, now gird up your loins like a man. I ask you, and you answer me. Will you also set aside my judgment? Would you pronounce me wrong? And you been declared righteous? Or do you have an arm like El? Or do you thunder with a voice like his? Deck yourself, please, with ecstasy and grandeur, and put on esteem and splendor. Esteem and splendor. Deck yourself, please, with ecstasy and grandeur, and put on esteem and splendor. Scatter abroad the rage of your wrath, and look on everyone who is proud, and bring him low. Look on everyone who is proud, humble him, and tread down the wrongdoers in their place. Hide them in the dust together. Bind their faces in obscurity. Then even I will confess to you that your own right hand does save you. Boy, boy, boy. Boy, boy, boy. God is talking. See now, Behemoth, which I made along with you, he eats grass like an ox. See now, his strength is in his loins, and his power is in his stomach muscles. He bends his tail like a cedar. The sinews of his thighs are knit together. His bones are like tubes of bronze. His ribs like a bar of iron. He is the beginning of the ways of El. His makers brings near his sword. For the mountains yield food for him, and all the beasts of the field play there. He lies under the slender tree, under cover of reeds and swamp. The slender trees cover him with their shade. The willows by streams surrounding him. See, if a river rage, he is not alarmed. He feels safe. Even in the garden gushes into his mouth. Before his eyes shall be caught with snares, or his nose pierced. Hold on, we're here. It says, see now, Behemoth, which I made along with you. He eats grass like an ox. See now, his strength is in his loins, and his power is in his stomach muscles. No. See, right now, God is talking to this man, Job. God is. I don't never want to be in that position when you think you so self-righteous that even God himself is wrong. Just don't do it. Don't do it. I know there's a lot of people, Job is just an example. Job had too much, but Job might have a lot of things that is above what we have, or more than what you have. Or you can have just as much of things, just as Job, much as possessions, much worldly possessions. But if these things seem to fail to exist, would you then start cussing out God? Would you then start looking at God like he's wrong? Would you then start looking at like, woe is me? Or would you continue to stand fast, stand strong, and believing in God and everything that he does? Would you not waver off the fact that God is right, God knows what he's doing, he's in control? Or would you fall back to what's going on? What's going on? I don't get it. Why is it happening to me? I don't do nothing wrong. I keep my head down all day. I do X, Y, and Z. I stay out of trouble. I don't do this. I don't do that. And when you start following to those lines of what's going on out there, how can this happen to me? If you follow to those lines, then you're gonna end up like Job, self-righteous in your own eyes, who think God doesn't know what he's doing. But man, to have God come down and be like, where was you at when you ain't got no answer. Here you go, big and bad talking stuff to all your friends who try to come in and like comfort you, try to bring you down. But I get it, Joe. You lost your 10 kids, you lost, your livestock, you lost your house, you lost your comfort. But you still had your wife. You still had your wife. I'm not done yet. I'm on 40, Joe 40, but you still had your wife, Joe. I mean, I get it. His looks looked it bad. Joe fell on hard times. But all because you fall on hard times, don't you dare poke out your chest and proudness. Don't you dare look up into the skies with content. Like, you know what? How dare you? For all the works that God do for us, All right, y'all. This is the last thing I'm gonna do before I leave. But let me go back to Job 33, so I could bring this little matter to how God speaks to us, how God put instructions to us. Because I don't think many of us knows how God talks. But listen to this real quick. Job 33. If you got your book, get it. Go to it. Job 33. Job 33. And we have verse 14. For El does speak once or twice, though one does not notice it. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls upon man, while slumbering on a bed, then he opens the ears of man and seals their instructions to turn man from his deed and conceal pride from man. He keeps back his being from the pit and his life from passing away by the sword. Let me keep going. And he is reproved with pain on his bed and with unceasing distress in his bones, so that his life loathes bread and his being desirable food. His flesh wastes away, and his bones which were not seen stick out. And his being draws near the pit, and his life to the destroyer. If there is a messenger for him, a mediator, one among 1,000, to show man his straightness, then he shows favor to him and says, release him from going down to the pit. I have found an atonement. So God is there fighting for us constantly, whether we know it or not. But make sure you guys, keep faith in God. Make sure you guys, keep your strength in God. More than anything else in this world. Keep your strength in God. Keep your favor in God. Keep your faith in God. But I pray you guys have a good day out there. This is my video. Like, subscribe, comment, please. Peace.